Guess who's back? If you guessed anyone other than me, you'd be badly wrong, especially considering you clicked on this video, which I'm sure you got here, the few of you that I assume are going to do this because this has been such a dormant channel over 5 years, 5.5 years since I made my last video, which was these two cars. I have these here for a reason. We'll be talking about this. But as you gleaned from the title, 5 reasons I quit collecting Hot Wheels and why I'm back. It's actually 4 reasons, and then the 5th is me coming back. But I want to run down these. I made a list here, and I want to talk about a few things to do with Hot Wheels collecting and YouTube. The first of which is why I started my YouTube channel with Hot Wheels. At the time I started this, I was building websites for people. I was also helping people launch YouTube channels, some of which were doing okay, and I started thinking, why am I not doing this myself? And around that same time, and I think I covered this in my very first video here on HW Central, I had started watching Hot Wheels videos to go to sleep. I don't know if it was ASMR or what, but like Race Grooves, I could put that on, just queue up some videos and fall asleep. There were quite a few channels that I followed, and every night I would just go to sleep listening to Hot Wheels talk, which I guess brainwashed me because I ended up starting to collect. And that gets me to the YouTube channel part, because I also decided, a little selfishly, and I'm sure some of you have even thought this, well, it's really not selfish. I decided, not only can I make a YouTube channel, but I think I can make it as successful as Race Grooves, or at least popular enough to monetize. So double win, right? You get to collect what you like, and also maybe get it monetized. But something happened with the monetization and with Hot Wheels on YouTube. I started noticing this not long after I created my channel, and it was coming to a peak right around the time I quit making videos. And that was that most of the YouTube Hot Wheels channels just aren't that big. I mean, you've got Race Grooves, but what other channel is as big as Race Grooves? And in the grand scheme of YouTube, I mean, that's a good size. He's at 600 and something thousand now. That's a really good size, almost 700. But that's not like, YouTube crazy big. I have other YouTube channels. I have a play button from YouTube. So I have successful YouTube channels that are monetized, but I'm only successful at that first rung of success, not to Race Grooves level. But when it comes to Hot Wheels, how much success is there when you start looking at the other channels that you watch? Because I'm just going to run down a list of numbers that I put, and I'm not going to put out any names because I don't want to disparage or make it sound like I'm disparaging any accomplishments any of these people have made, because it's hard. It really is hard to grow on YouTube, especially when you're in a niche or niche, depending upon what part of the country you are in. We say niche down here, but it's niche for most of the country. And Hot Wheels, that very small segment of the population, collectors. But I'm just going to go down some numbers here. We had the Race Grooves at almost 700,000 now. Then, well, almost said a name here, but the next big one that I watch regularly, 12.4 thousand, which is successful. Good, congratulations to them, especially in such a small market. That's impressive. But then another big one, a name I hear a lot, 1,200 subscribers. That's not very big enough to get monetized as long as you get the watch hours. And then there's 3.12K, so 31 or 3,000, 1,200. And that guy's got some potential. I can tell you, as having successful channels and having one that I've earned my play button with, that guy's got potential. Well, I'll just go ahead and tell you, that's Playdays Collectibles. He's on to something. So if he keeps doing what he's doing, even though this is a small niche, I mean, he could easily hit 50,000, I think. But that's reason number one that I left. My goal for getting into this was to enjoy the Hot Wheels community, but also to get a successful channel. And I just started getting that realization that it's such a small segment of the YouTube viewership community or viewership spectrum is Hot Wheels. Just not that many of us that are ardent enough collectors that we can really grow channels. And that was one reason. Reason number two kind of ties in with this. When I first started, there's a guy named Paul Wooten. And Paul Wooten, actually, one or two of these cars may be from Paul Wooten. But Paul Wooten told me once when I started collecting, he said, trust me, that 10 cars, I think I had about 10 cars, said that 10 cars will turn into 10,000 before you realize it. And he said, remember, each one of those costs at least $1. And that's important. Each one of those cars cost at least $1. And this is, I think I have now, I think around 300 cars. This is just a little small sampling, but I think, or at my peak, I think I had around 300 cars. I probably only have around 100 that are left now, because I did give quite a few of them away. Make good Christmas presents. Hot Wheels cars, so a side benefit there of being a Hot Wheels collector. But I just started thinking about that while I was out, and I thought, man, every time I'm buying one of these, that's $1. And I started watching some of those YouTube channels, and I can't tell you how many YouTube channels I have watched where it was a person that had collected, they had worked on their YouTube channel for years. Then I see them, they're buying cars, like 5 or 6 they're showing every night. And then the next thing I know, they're talking about being in financial hardship and they're having to sell their beloved collection. Then I look around and they've got walls covered. I know one guy, he had over 100,000 cars that he had bought new retail, and he was having financial trouble. And I'm watching it and I'm thinking, well, man, you spent $100,000 in the past year and a half. That's why you're in financial trouble. So all that was starting to weigh on my mind. A little camera reposition, because in just a minute I'm going to be reaching in front of this, so I need some capability to get there. But also, along with my collecting, this goes with number 2, with the money, I started buying wall cases, anticipating how many cars I was going to be buying. I wanted a way to display them. And I'll edit in here a picture of the one that I have. I never even pulled the backing off of it. This is in a back room. I have that one, but I had an entire line, let's see, I think it was 3 tall and 5 or 6 deep on that one wall. But I had already accounted for how many I could put around the room, and I wrote down here. Each one of those, okay, I had 10 cases. That's how many I had. I had 10 cases. My plans were for 70 cases. That's how many I knew I could fit in my room. And that equaled 4,550 cars. So that's at least $4,550, not counting tax, not counting anything else, and the fact that in that case that I just showed you, those cars, many of those I got from Japan, or they were Greenlight, because I fell in love with Greenlight Broncos for some reason. And though, is it Greenlight? Wow, that's how long I've been out of this. But those were about $10 each, and those Japanese cars, I think shipping and all, I paid around $20 each, something like that for those off of eBay. So you could get considerably expensive. That 4,500 car slots, that could easily cost me $10,000, which I could do a lot with that money. So YouTube channel, hard to get monetized, and a very small audience, adds up. Buying all these cars gets expensive and adds up. So that's number 2. Number 3, oh, I had to jump off to reread my notes. Almost couldn't read my handwriting. But number 3 is that only the latest seems to matter. I started looking at the same time I started looking at how small, in relation to the one biggie, how small the other, even popular, Hot Wheels channels were in the grand scheme of things. Again, not to take away from anything anyone has built, because as you all know, it's very hard to get subscribers. But aside from that, the difficulties there, I noticed that if it wasn't the latest car, if it wasn't that quest for the latest treasure hunt, or the latest super treasure hunt, or whatever the newest case is, that the views were a lot less. So, I drag out these. These are what, 5 years old? If I were to make a video right now on if I'd just gotten those, my views, whatever they would be on other new car videos, it would be at least half or just a fraction of that. Because there's this right now mentality in our world, possibly because we have 10-second attention spans thanks to TikTok. Possibly. But whatever it is, that's another thing I noticed. This just doesn't have staying power as far as if it's not the latest and greatest. At least from my observation. Now, I could be wrong on that, but this was my observation. So that's 3 reasons. And this 4th one, this is going to get a little bit, I don't know, this might make people angry, but I'm just going to say it. Creepy collectors. I had no idea when I got into this, we all had these cars when we were young, And now we're adults. I mean, this channel is an adult collector channel. It's not for kids. So I started getting out collecting, and I started noticing that some of the other collectors, they're kind of creepy. They're the people that you just don't want to be around. Kind of nasty and creepy. And now that was half of them, at least locally here. Your area may vary. But also there was another half that's aggressive. They're younger typically, but they're very, very aggressive. And that gets back to, I think, this little silver 356 here. Because I think it was that car, and again, this has been over 5 years, so I could be wrong, but I'm going to use it as a proxy stand-in just in case. But I think that that's the car that while I was at a dump bin, going through cars, I had an older guy, kind of one of the creepy types, that came up and told me this was his Walmart. And asking what I was looking at, and I don't even know how I reacted to that. I'm sure I tried to play it off cool, but I'm thinking this guy's crazy. He wandered on about his way. Actually, that guy was when I was getting the, can't even see where I'm pointing. That guy was when I was getting this Lotus Esprit. That was that. I think the 356 was the aggressive guy. But whatever the case, either have kind of creepy, then there's a small little subset of what I would call normal people, which I hope is the group that I fall in. You hope, but you never really know what group you're in until someone else tells you. But the aggressive collectors, there was a guy, and I ran into this a couple of times and I've seen videos about it, but there was one guy that was really adamant, and I think it was about this little 356, that he wanted that car. And this isn't a treasure hunt. It's not a super treasure hunt. There's nothing special about it other than I wanted it to match up the other one. But he really kind of got aggressive and made some undertoned threats. They wanted that car. Well, you see, I ended up with the car. So, at least he's not that tough, right? But he was big, could have broken me like a toothpick if he wanted to. But I'm just thinking, these are collectible 99-cent cars. If he would have asked me, walked up, I really need, that's what I was looking for. I would have gladly handed that over. I mean, it's little small 99-cent cars. It's not that big of a deal to me. But it just seems that the collector community, there's a small group of us normal people, and then there's unfortunately a large segment of what I call creepy people, and then some aggressive people. And all of that accumulated with these other three reasons. The YouTube channel attempt and realizing Hot Wheels channels are just not that big. Not ever going to be that big except that one or two rare exceptions. And that the cost of the cars adds up quickly, especially when you start wanting to do walls of them like I wanted to do. And by the way, I'm not taking away from anyone that has walls of cars, because I have seen a lot of you guys, I still watch regularly, watch you guys' videos, and I've seen the very impressive setups. I just watched one guy I had never seen before. I would have sworn that it was a store. This guy's setup, it looked that good. I was watching it and I thought, wow, I actually want to shop that. That looks that good. So, not taking away anything there. I'm just saying for me, monetarily, that would be a problem if it started to add up. And then that right now mentality, only the newest seems to get higher views, which again, as a professional YouTube content creator, the views matter. That's how we get paid. So when you're dealing with something that unless it's the latest and greatest, is not going to get views, that's not a good thing for a YouTube content creator, at least to focus attention on. Now again, if you're just doing this on the side, that's fine. But also on that, a lot of creators I've noticed, very few Hot Wheels creators stick with it. And I'm guilty of that myself. Of course, I just gave you my reasons. But I know a lot that are really into Hot Wheels and they make consistent videos and then just quit. Then they might come back a year later and make one video and they're back, and then they don't ever make another one again. It's very bizarre. But number 5 is my screw all of that, because I'm back. You only live once, right? Even if it's 99 cents a car, as long as I'm not going to break myself and I keep in mind what my budgets are, then who really cares? Enjoy what you want to enjoy in life. Life is short, all that stuff. So that's what my thinking was and why I went away for so long, but I'm back now. A lot of the channels that I watched haven't made anything in quite a bit of a while, except I want to give just a few mentions here. Paul Miller, whom is now Diecast Seeker, even though he deleted all of his old videos, which I don't understand. That's the death of a YouTube channel. If you start creating content and then deleting it, you lose all those views, any of the comments, that kills your analytics, all that stuff. But he's now Diecast Seeker. I still watch him regularly. I watched I made that past tense. But I watched JRC02. And by the way, Mr. JRC02, let me lean over here. I don't know if I should thank you for your content or curse you, because you made me buy these without even realizing it. It's not your fault. It's mine for being caught up in the hype. But you made them look so good. You did a good job. These Speed Champions Lego things, there's a third one laying over there, and a Lego RV thing. Actually, that was a Christmas present, but I guess I'm going to do these on this channel since I'm back. But again, it'll be more limited. A more limited appearance, since I do have other YouTube channels that I play a focus on. But I don't know, maybe if I got this monetized or something, I might pay more attention to it. But in the meantime, it's just going to be about fun. All about fun. But Mr. JRC02, you got me into these Lego Speed Champion things. And also, Mountain 66 Diecast. I watch you regularly. I don't know if you even know who I am. I don't think I've ever commented on one of your videos, but I am subscribed to your channel. And there's probably dozens more that I watch regularly, but those are the three that I make sure I check out each night, and they tend to post regular content. So there you go. My 5 reasons, very long-winded, of why I quit. And I want to know now, do you agree with any of those? Have you noticed any of those? Or am I just a jerk and don't deserve to be doing Hot Wheels videos? I don't know. Comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And hopefully I'll be making more Hot Wheels videos, because that's 3 bags full that late last year, if I didn't already mention it, that I collected. I just never made a video about. So maybe I'll show this. That'll be one of those low volume videos because it's old cars. But thanks for watching this video. If you made it this far, or even just thanks for watching this video, I hope to see you in future videos. And I need some outro here, but I can't think up anything. So I'll just say bye.